Seth Rollins, I'm coming for you, boy. And I'm coming hard.
Thank you.
I don't care. You come in my face, I'm gonna fight you.
Brutus the Buck, take a look at this. Brutus, this is incredible. What a package.
Well, you're not gonna bust a nut anytime we're in the ring.
After I beat you and satisfy all the Hulkamaniacs, I'm gonna get off by cranking your knob just a little beyond the breaking point.
But I want it too, and I had to fight inch for inch to get this, and I'm not about to lay down on my back.
Welcome back, everyone, to Mic Check with Mr. Anderson. I see we're all bobbing our heads to the Mr. Anderson theme song there, which we heard on TNA a few weeks ago. A lot of people have been asking, Ken, if they keep their eye out on TNA, see what's happening. Just
you never know. Like as I said before, it was a one-off thing, but I feel like everybody was happy with it. We'll see. See what happens.
Yes. We don't want to give the game away too early.
We must be patient. That's the worst part about the wrestling business is being patient.
Mm-hmm.
And then and you're patient, and then one day it just happens, and it's an explosion. And I tried to get into WWE for 6 years, and then when I got there, it was just on the road 5 days a week, traveling all over the world, doing interviews, just thrown right into it, Crazy. There's people often say that they talk about that overnight success thing. It feels like it's an overnight success, but if you're doing it, it certainly doesn't feel like an overnight success. So, yeah. Oh, I think something happened here.
Oh, I think Kev's froze.
You there, Connor?
I'm here. Yeah, we
You're
just
there.
lost Kev. I thought he was contemplating something. That's why I was waiting for him to say something. Yeah, I mean, they do say, it's like it takes you, in your case, 6 years to become an overnight success.
Yeah. It's wild that, it takes that long. And like I said, in my efforts to get there, I kept doing, I kept sending tapes, and I kept making calls, and I would get booked as an extra, and I would do the extra work, and I would do the dark matches and the squash matches and stuff like that. And I would wait to hear something, and I would never. The worst part about the business is not hearing anything at all and just having to be okay with it. And be patient, because and the thing is it's not necessarily it's not a personal thing. When things aren't happening, it's not a personal thing. It's just there are so many other things that need to be taken care of immediately that new talent is usually the last thing that people are. There he is.
Sorry. Apologies.
All right.
I think Amazon, I don't know if it's the same over in America, but Amazon had this big outage, and there's a lot going on. So I don't know if that may be playing into it. It's not done this to me since Hornswoggle came on the show, right?
It's been a while.
I know. It's been a while.
So yes, Venmo's down. There's a bunch of stuff that's
Snapchat, Fortnite, Dead by Daylight, all the best stuff, all the fun stuff.
Yeah, right.
It's like it's by design, isn't it?
You think so?
You never know. You never know.
Conspiracy website?
They don't want fun. They don't want us having fun, right?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Take away all the good stuff. For everybody that's tuning in tonight, please leave your comments in the comment section and ask questions to Ken. All the best ones will be chosen, of course. So yeah, it's going to be class. I missed what you guys said, unfortunately, because 1 minute I'm like, yeah, this is class, and then I was like, oh no, everybody started turning into circles, and I was like, oh. Aye.
I was just talking about, getting to WWE and being patient and 6 years of knocking on the door, not hearing anything.
Mm-hmm.
And then all at once, it was away to the races.
Mm-hmm. Well, you saying that it takes a long time sometimes. Let's look at the reverse of that. We had a stable here with, or a faction with Seth Rollins, Bronson Reed, and Braun Breaker. And I feel like they've been broken up so soon.
Is it already done?
Yeah, because
there's more to it.
When there's a good faction in any wrestling company, aces and eights, right? Fortune, Evolution, DX. There's usually, you can look before they wrap it up. You look back and go, "Oh, they done this. Remember this. Remember this." I don't feel these guys done any of that. Kind of in that scenario. What kind of, in your experience, what kind of scenarios may come up that would have something be cut short like that?
I can't speak to this particular thing, but like, for instance, I had the United States Championship. They gave it to me. And then after I won it, Taker said, "I want to work with that kid." And so immediately, I only had it for like a month, and they took it off me because I didn't need that championship, So maybe there's something else brewing, and that faction, for whatever reason, isn't going to work.
Yeah. Which is a shame, because it was kind of like the second coming of the Deadly Alliance with Paul Heyman, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of talk right now. There's a lot of talk of what the reason behind it is. I've read loads of crazy theories. Most of it stemming from Seth having an injury to his arm and having to take some time out again. I don't know if they're faking on us this time. I read one just before, like about half an hour ago, and it says that CM Punk is going to be revealed as the new leader, which I was like, that's fucking crazy. But it's from one of those sources where you're like, you've posted some crazy shit before and it's been true. So it's so unpredictable at the moment, especially on Raw. Even on SmackDown actually last week or just a few days ago. I think for the first time in a good while for me, I'm like, I don't know what's happening. I don't know who's about to turn heel. I don't know who's gonna turn face. For me, that's how it feels right now. I don't know if you would agree or if you feel like you still see everything coming.
Sorry, not to. I wonder how much stuff is fed by the company itself to media.
Yeah, I'd have some fun with that if it was me.
Yeah, totally. Like Paul Heyman, when I was working for OVW, when he first came down and started writing, he would put out 3 different reports to dirt sheets for every single show. And he would bury some people. Like he would make them different sounding enough. And there would be like legit gripes in there that you would hear from people. So that it would sound legit, nobody ever suspected a thing.
It's crazy because there is that wee world in the WWE, and I say mainly WWE, but you do hear of it in AEW and other companies where there is this feeder of information coming from within. And do you think that it's from the quote unquote office or the performers?
Oh yeah, I think right from the top. I think.
Yeah.
Yep.
And is it a like you reach out to Dave Meltzer and he pays you for information, like a side hustle? Or is it just, I'm going to do this to essentially create the narrative that I want out there?
I think it's just creating narrative. It's just like those instances where fans have thrown shit in the ring, like the chairs, right? Like that was somebody was a plant in the audience. That was, or there were a few people that were planted to start it. Just like there was a time when we were doing the Aces and Eights thing. There was some cage match. I can't remember who was involved. And they intentionally had a bunch of people in the audience that started throwing water bottles into the ring, and then pretty soon it was just like an avalanche of water bottles getting thrown into the ring. Everybody everybody climbed on.
Yeah, it's a smart thing. When I was working in like independent wrestling, what would happen is because the curtain was pretty much next to the audience, the guys backstage would actually start chanting in the hope that the audience would. So I've seen that firsthand. We have a comment here from NWA Mexican said, I had emailed into Sandman podcast and asked who had the best Mr. Kennedy impression, and his son Tyler did the thing. It was really good, and the Sandman said he did the job to you at the Garden. Does Mr. Kennedy remember that match? Does Connor and Kevin have a better impression? Well, we're going to do an episode of impressions, and I think I've been working on a Ken impression, not the Mr. Kennedy, but the actual Ken impression. So I'm looking forward to doing that when we do a later episode of impressions. But yeah, Sandman. Do you remember that match in the Garden with Sandman?
I do. I worked twice in the Garden, and the first time was the Royal Rumble that Cena reemerged at. Came out at I believe 30.
Yeah, that's what that one.
I was in that one, and that was the Garden, and then Sandman. I worked.
Nice.
I specifically remember talking to him backstage at the Garden, but yeah, pretty cool. Sandman was always like, I love that guy. I really, he's a good human being. Very, very. I think he's very intellectual too. Like you can have deep conversations with him, not just about wrestling, and you wouldn't expect that, I guess.
Yeah, because his character, a lot of people say that his character was the precursor to Stone Cold Steve Austin. You know, he stole all his shit type thing, depending on who you ask. But I think even when you look at two of those characters, they're actually vastly different. But I see where the connection is there. You have any good, funny Sandman stories?
Not off the top of my head, but let me think about that.
Eric Weber asks, Ken, what was it like hosting Byte This, and what are your thoughts on Todd Grisham?
Byte This. I vaguely remember that. I remember the video leading into it. We did a thing where I pulled up at Titan Towers, and I was trying to get in. Do you guys remember this at all? Does this ring any sort of bell?
On Byte This? No, but I'm going to do it now.
No, Todd Grisham was always super cool. I believe, does he just work for ESPN now?
I think so, yeah. Did he not have a stint in TNA? That was Kevin Kelly, actually. They kind of had like a falling out, didn't they?
Well, Kevin Kelly and AEW had a falling out, I believe.
That's right. Sorry, it wasn't TNA. Yeah. You're correct.
Kevin Kelly was just recently at the Academy doing a seminar. Actually,
that's right.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah. I don't know, like, because you would have been in TNA at the time, but did you ever, like, did anybody backstage in TNA see this? But when Todd Grisham was on Byte This, people would phone up and they would say, "Hi, this is I'd just like to talk about it," and then very quickly they would go watch TNA. It's over on this channel, and then he'd but he would get so pissed off with it that he would start like throwing shade on TNA. Did any of you guys used to like see, like, is that something you would talk about in the locker room and laugh about? No, you ever acknowledge that? Oh,
I didn't even know that happened.
It's so good. It's like one of those, that have you ever seen that guy that he goes around the world and all the time the wee news reporter's always talking about a tragedy. The guy's wearing a hood and she'll go to him and he'll go, I'm not going to say it, but he'll say, "Fuck a rat in the pussy." And then they're like, "Not him." Everybody
love that guy. That guy's great. In fact, the other day, Anastasia and I were walking down the street in Minneapolis, and we saw like a news crew set up filming, and I was like, and Anastasia said, "You should run up there and yell it."
100%. Could you imagine how over you would be? I mean,
right in the pussy.
I like the way he said it last time. He was like, "Like a rat and pussy." Like he didn't even like it wasn't. It was just like expected. He takes his head in. And then you see the memes where it comes down slowly, and they take the slow-mo music, and he just goes, "Like a rat." Phenomenal, man.
How does he keep doing it? That's what I want to know.
I don't know, but however he does it, it's excellent, and he should keep doing it. But it's
almost like somebody within the news organization.
So Dave
setting
Meltzer
it up.
thing, isn't it?
They're going to be at such and such an address at this time.
100% is leaking information. It's
Mhm.
phenomenal. But that's what it was like with Byte This. Someone with that same type of troll mentality would
Yeah.
always be like halfway through talking about Kurt Angle, not Kurt Angle at the time, but a WWF superstar at the time, and then would be like, and go check out TNA, and then they would cut him, and they'd just be like, "Oh God, why don't you go over to TNA's channel and go to their wee commentary show if they even have one?" It was that type of saltiness. It was so funny. It's some good back and forth.
Which that reminds me of WCW when they said, go over and Mick Foley's winning the title tonight. That'll be a real. That's something everybody wants to watch, and right at that moment, everybody flipped over.
Oh man, yep. It was a bit of one of those nails in the coffin. Really, I think that was a really big turning point, wasn't it?
It was.
We have another one here from Sean Boy. Says, "What was it like working with WWE Magazine guys, and what did it feel like being on the cover of WWE Magazine?"
That was a really cool experience. I remember meeting the author or whatever, the guy that wrote that article. We met at a place in downtown Minneapolis called Fogo de Chao. It's like a Brazilian steakhouse, and just asked me, a couple hours worth of questions over dinner, and then I flew out to Connecticut, had a photo shoot at Stamford at the Titan Towers. It was a cool photo shoot too, where they had like a giant block of ice, and they had me stick my hand through it, and I really I love that magazine. I thought it was a really good when they resurrected it. It's great. They did a great job with it, I thought. Yeah. I remember. Here's something. This is just off the top of my head, right? Like Ashley Massaro was on the cover one month. And Ashley Massaro had tons of piercings, facial piercings. And when the magazine came out, they had airbrushed all of her facial piercings out. And she was hot about it. Like, I remember she was pissed. And she brought it up to the office. So, why would you do that to me? And the answer they gave was astonishing. And it was that Walmart didn't want her to they didn't want to post a magazine that had a female with all those facial piercings. And you'd say, like, well, what does that have to do with anything? And they said that Walmart at the time handled, I believe it was 2/3 or 3/4 of the entire magazine, like the business that the magazines did was done through Walmart.
Wow.
What?
Which is wild. And so Walmart didn't want something, it wasn't going to be on there.
Which is crazy when you think how far the world's come, when what you see in our magazines now, and what women can't have.
Well, and it was interesting too, and she pointed out at the time, Maxim magazine and FHM had
a lot of piercings. Piercings in other places.
a lot less clothing,
Yeah, it's a bit unfair, isn't it? Damn. Over on Instagram, remember, guys, keep sending your questions in. All the best ones will be selected. This is from, what was the guy's name? Jordan from Canada. Wonder where he's from. Anderson, Mr. Anderson, I think you have one of the best personalities ever in the business. You remind me of Jim Carrey and The Rock. Would you consider acting again or stand-up comedy?
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely. As far as the acting thing goes, yeah, definitely. I guess it's just the acting thing really takes a lot of time and dedication. And I feel like I've got so many other things going on right now that need my attention, I guess. What was the second half of that question?
Stand-up comedy. I know guys like Nick Nemeth.
Comedy is something that I've always, every time I go to a stand-up show, I'm like, I think I could do that.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of friends who are in the business who are comics, and they keep nudging me, think it'll happen at some point.
Yeah.
I think I'd like to go and do an amateur night, just like get up there for 5 minutes and tell some jokes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That'd be pretty good. Have you seen Nick Nemeth's show?
I've been to I remember I was in LA one time and Nick was part of a improv show. He does a lot of improv, I believe.
Mm.
It was fantastic. It was really funny.
Yeah.
Him and his brother, I think, did it.
Yeah. Ryan Nemeth, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can't remember what there's some big ones. Like, what are the big improv groups? There's one in Chicago, and then there's another one in LA.
The Stand?
Undergrounders, maybe. Groundlings? Maybe it was that.
No idea.
There's somebody who's super, super talented across the board. He's amazing in the ring, but he's also a really, really funny guy.
Who is this?
Nick.
All right, Nick. Sorry, I thought you were going to give us someone else, but yeah, no, we've talked about him before, haven't we? When we said like just all the best parts of everything. He's super athletic, great hair. I mean, great look. Just what's not to love about Nick Nemeth? You know, there's another question here asking, did you enjoy your time more in WWE or TNA? I think you've spoke about this a little bit before, haven't you?
I enjoyed the money more in WWE.
Yeah.
And I guess the exposure, right? The exposure in WWE and the kinds of things, the kinds of crowds that you get in front of with WWE it's just extraordinary. It is amazing how that machine operates. But I really, really enjoyed like the storylines and just the overall feel of the locker room and, you know, everything. You're not constantly stressed out and thinking that everything is a test.
Mm-hmm.
Because there was a lot of that at WWE by design, you know?
Yeah. I think you've said it, you've touched upon it a little bit, but I think the more we go on, I think there's going to be a lot more where we get to kind of understand exactly what that was like. But just from conversations I've had with you, I couldn't imagine being in that position. And further to that, recently, I think this was just the other night, a fan in the WWE audience had a double sign. On one side, it had something on it, but on the other, it said "Come home, Paige," which I don't think is a bad thing, right? From my perspective as a fan, I would say if you're taking a sign and you're addressing Saraya as Paige, right? That's a WWE product essentially, right? Yeah. And you're going to where you fell in love with this character, right? So is it really that bad to hold up a sign saying "Come home, Paige"? He's referring to WWE as home, right?
Right.
So they sent someone to confiscate it.
I saw the video of it.
Yeah. What's your thoughts on
that? They made him, it was like stapled together, right? And they made him like two apart and give him half the sign. It doesn't make sense to me. And I feel like there's kind of no rhyme or reason behind what signs they allow to get through. Mm-hmm. You know, and I gotta think that like sometimes you'll see a sign and you're like, well, how come that one was okay and that one wasn't? And it was just because like nobody caught it, you know? That's the only reason.
Yeah. But the thing is,
could it be that it's a spoiler for something coming up soon?
Well, I wouldn't even.
They've drew more attention to it now by doing this, and they probably knew that would be the case. You know, now the internet has seen this.
I think Ken's mic's maybe cut out for a sec.
Yeah, he needs to check his mic
cable or something. His mic checking. Why did we miss that one?
No, you got it.
Very quickly, while Ken is fixing his microphone, please, everybody, if you fill up the comment section, we're here for another half hour. So if you want to put all your stuff in the comment section, all your questions, make them good. Make them questions that we don't always get. You good, Ken? Almost, I think. I think your mic is muted. Try and mate. There we go.
Hear me now?
Yeah.
There we go.
Imagine that. Imagine mic checking during the mic check show. Oh, it's muted again. There we are.
This cord, I can't touch this cord. So.
Is that what it is? Auto mute.
My laptop got accidentally unplugged. So I just got a notification that said your laptop is running on reserve here.
All right.
Plug in.
The old
I
funny.
don't even
So
get that anymore. Mine just dies.
that's Ken and I. So Connor, we're just waiting on something happening to you now during this stream.
Don't put that out in the universe.
I know, right?
No.
It'll be funny though. So, have you ever been part of have you ever seen that in any company you've worked in, where you've seen the conversation where they're like, oh, they've got this sign, we need to take this off them more, or even just nothing. It's not something that you've ever seen.
No, and like I said, I can't wrap my head around what's problematic about that particular sign. You know, like you said, it's referring to WWE as home, which is putting the company over. It's using her WWE name, not her real name. You know, that she's using in another company. I don't know. You know,
Silliness. Yeah, probably.
You got to wonder too who handles those decisions. Is that something where is that a Hunter thing where Hunter's watching the camera, sitting in gorilla position, and he goes like, "I don't like that. Go get that." Or is there somebody else?
I would have thought, based on what we've seen of Triple H, that he would be more relaxed to that type of thing than what Vince would be. But you never know. I think Bruce Pritchard, from what we saw in that WWE 24, no, it wasn't 24, but that WWE show that we watched on Netflix, I think he's very specific. But then again, it might just be a little department. When we went to AEW, there was, those type of people where you give them a badge and they're like, well, I'm Macho Man, right? The people that work in the building, because we had these passes that says we could essentially take photographs for press, and they were coming up to us and being like, you can't stand there. It's like, why? Like, what's the purpose of me standing here and over there? Like, but they made it such a thing, you have to sit here. And it's like, why does this matter to you? Like, we're in no one's way. And the difference is like a couple footsteps from which area to the next way. We get better pictures this way. Why have us here to take shitty pictures? Is that what you want? Fine. Do you know what I mean? But these people exist within that.
Yeah.
So they may not even have worked for WWE. They might have just been like, this WWE probably wouldn't like this, and I'm going to take it upon myself.
Oh, right.
Who knows? But I thought maybe.
I mean, if they wanted to do it, and on the sly, what they could have done, if it was from the WWE side, is send a heel out, like a Grayson Waller.
Rip it off.
Just he goes in that section of the audience, right? Just inconspicuous, like, oh yeah, I'm here just to draw myself some heat, and that's a sign that they've told me to rip. Hey,
yeah,
they could do that. But
I think that
maybe it is the arena. Maybe it's the venue.
That's the writers. The writers would be.
That's what I would do. If I wanted that to happen.
One More Quarter says the people behind me can't see was a classic sign.
The people behind me can't see. Oh, is that what it said on the other side?
Yeah, hopefully. But it's a classic one.
What a prick. At least acknowledging their.
Hell yeah. The ones to this guy. Gosh.
I can't imagine like going to a show during the Attitude Era. How terrible that must have been. Right? Like every time there was a commercial break, every time they'd come back, they would tell them, like, hold up your signs. And
no one gets to see.
And it was like every other person had a sign.
Craziness.
Wild.
No, everyone has a phone.
Well, I went to AEW All In the first year they were in Wembley. And do you know what my biggest pet peeve was? Every 2 minutes, oh, fuck me, I need to stand up because somebody needs to pee. Every 2 seconds, man. Stand up, sit down. Oh, here it comes again. Stand up, sit down. And see the people that walk past you without even acknowledging you and saying thank you. I'm like, right, clothesline on his next way across. That or I'm just...
the little shimmy. The little
100%.
shimmy.
Yeah, there's an etiquette to that, Thank you, sorry. Right? But to just flat out be like, yeah, I'm worth this. And no one, there's no one else here but me. Nah, mate, you're getting tripped up. You know what I mean? Hell no.
Next time I'm gonna be like, fuck you, as I'm doing it, as I'm walking by.
At least then it's still something.
Kick the
every other, just all the way down the row.
It's still fun, Someone here called Frankie O says, "Hey Ken, I'm a huge fan, sir. I was wondering if you'd go to AEW at some time, and apologies if this has been asked." Just joined.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not out. I'm open to anything, really. Yeah. It's just a matter of make the call.
Yeah. Who would you if Tony Khan was like, right, we're gonna have you here in AEW, and I'd like to give you some creative freedom. Who do you want to work with first? And this could be anybody on that roster. Who would you choose?
Well, one, I'd like to work with my boys.
Yeah.
Like Darius and Dante. Maybe faction, and maybe Julia too.
Yeah.
What's his name? Dean Ambrose.
John
Moxley.
Yeah, I really I like that guy.
He's got a lot of intensity. You ever spend any time with him, work with him, meet him?
I don't want to do any of the hardcore stuff.
But you can't work with John Moxley then.
Whoa, wait a second. No, I don't want to be taking back bumps onto Janice or anything.
Or getting what was it, waterboarded? That was the last one.
He got waterboarded?
Oh man.
No, he done that to Darby Allin.
Just recently in a fish tank.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Sting came back and saved
drowning. That's fucking good TV.
Simulated drowning. I don't think it was any simulation in there. I think it was hold your breath, Darby.
Oh, that's what I saw Sting come back and smash the.
Yeah, that was it.
I was wondering. I thought, like, are we doing a piranha match or something like that?
Oh, you've done it now. You've just given him an idea.
Scorpions, cactus, pillar of salt.
Oh, no, you've just done it. You've just done it.
Barefoot thumbtack match.
Oh,
Speaking of which, I saw Ian Rotten one time. One of the craziest things that I've ever seen in person. I was on an IWA Mid-South show. And they did it was like one night hardcore, and then the next night was the Ted Petty Invitational Tournament. And we went to both nights, and I remember he did a barefoot thumbtack match. Madman Pondo, he had Pondo in the middle of the ring. He piled up just a giant pile of thumbtacks in the middle of the ring, put Pondo's head right there on that pile of thumbtacks, and then stomped on it with his bare foot. And Pondo moved his head, and he just he stomped the shit out of those thumbtacks, pulled up his foot. The whole underside of his foot was metal.
Oh no. Sorry, Ian.
Would you say that's the craziest stipulation you've ever seen, or if not, what is like the craziest match you've seen?
It's the most painful looking thing that I think I've ever seen, besides Moxley getting backdropped onto that thing with all the nails on it.
That guy's a glutton for punishment, right?
He loves it.
Even in the wrestling, like, I'll laugh my head off sometimes. It's during like a Moxley promo, and you go to the comments, and it's like, I'm like, they're always talking about him blading straight away. It's become like a running meme almost. Like something will happen in the wrestling world, and someone will put a meme below it, being like, Moxley just bladed to this. Do you know what I mean? It's like Ric Flair, like during a promo, you literally like he's covered in blood, screaming at someone. There comes a bit of humor to that, which is really funny. I like it. I think John Moxley, I think if he used to ever go back to WWE, and I think he would have to go back as John Moxley and not Dean Ambrose, right? But if he did, I think we would get the best version of him, because he would. We know what he's capable of. I think they would keep elements of that, but we would get the real polished, finished product of what he can be without it all. Without the too much. And I think that would be the best possible thing for all of us.
I think
it would also be the pop of the century.
What was that?
I think it would be the pop of the century if they got him back. Like WrestleMania 40, the music played. Some people were convinced that it might actually happen. Obviously, there was no chance he was under contract at AEW at the time. But if they did, they would have to do it with Seth and Roman. But, do it in the biggest way possible. Yeah. You would not beat that reaction for years.
Think there's any possibility that Edge makes that return?
Yes, I do actually. And do you know why? Because let's look at it this way, okay? Tony Khan's a wrestling fan, okay? Really,
Yeah.
before he's anything else, he's a huge wrestling fan.
Yeah.
Do you think he doesn't want to see that? Right? Do you not also if Edge was to show up in WWE and be like, "This is I'm here for one off and I'm back to AEW,"
Yeah.
can you imagine the amount of love Tony Khan would get from the full
Oh,
universe?
big time.
Because they're like that goes against the grain, and that's one thing
Yeah.
Tony Khan's always done. I
And
think it would be.
Anastasia's convinced that they're working together anyways, but
Hey, there may be something to that. And this whole time, Anastasia's the MVP of just wrestling philosophy, but you never know. But I think with the whole Forbidden Door, which has been copied from WWE to TNA now, right? WWE have taken from AEW the press scrums, right? There's many back and forth, and everyone takes from WWE, so it's only right that WWE goes, well, let's see what you guys can give us.
yeah.
But I think
A good idea is a good idea is a good idea.
100%.
It doesn't matter where it comes from, right?
100%, and for so long it's just been WWE. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think with Edge coming across for one-off, he said to Christian, what was the last thing he said to Christian before he left AEW? I've got some business back home that I need to take care of. I'll see you soon. Right? Cena just posted on his Instagram something about, I don't understand the reference because it's an American football thing, but it's two American football players. And I think it's like, I think they're from different teams, but they're coming together and shaking hands.
Oh,
If anybody in the
handshake.
comments, if anyone in the comments can give me a bit more that's from America.
I think it's Tom Brady.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it's
Is it
Tom Brady, and I don't know who the other guy is because I don't
Cena
follow the sport. But
see,
I've seen Tom
to us it
Brady.
doesn't make sense because we don't know the sport. But it's relevant. Its relevance will be understood.
What is it? Brady
Is that?
Manning?
Does Anastasia have it there that she can show you to hand? I can bring it up for everybody
Brady
watching at home.
and Peyton Manning? Eli Manning?
Oh,
Is that who it is?
With her.
It's Tom Brady and Peyton Manning. That's correct. Yep.
Yeah, that's Peyton Manning.
So give us a bit of
I love
context
the
on that.
fact that Cena's Instagram is like intentional. He just posts random shit.
They made him get one. I'm sure. I'm sure that was
Yeah,
it. That he was
they
told
did.
you need to have one, and he was like, "Okay, well, I'm just gonna post.
I'm going to have fun with it." And I remember
loads of
just
Stone
before,
Cold memes.
mate, before AJ Styles showed up in WWE, he posted a picture zoomed right in on AJ Styles' face.
Oh, he
before
did?
just before. So he does sometimes give you a window into what's about to come. But what's the relevance there between Peyton Manning and Tom Brady? Are those titans of two different teams? Is that right?
Yeah, they're quarterbacks for two different, but
Could that mean?
yeah, maybe.
Could that mean
Sure,
that?
Sure.
Would you put that together if you were a fan?
Yeah, that's reasonable enough.
So you never know.
But it's not like it doesn't say anything to the two teammates working together, though. You know what I mean? It's just like it's just a friendly post-game handshake, pat on the butt kind of thing.
Yeah,
could be WWE and AEW. You know, that could be what.
Yeah, right. That could be the.
The only thing about that is WWE have always been looking at AEW like this, right? Truly, they have in most ways. The comments made by Triple H and others, not the superstars, but the higher ups. We've definitely seen it. The Pissant Company, right?
I mean, but they for sure, you know, they strategically book
right
their shows.
Yes.
So to some degree, they do view them as competition. Like you have to.
Oh, 100%.
It would be stupid to do the same thing that WCW sort of did, right?
Yeah.
We don't have to worry about them. They're dust.
100%. Well, Michael Swerve says, why would AEW do something for WWE that WWE would never do for AEW? There's many reasons why they would do that. One, Tony
Because
Khan is
it's
a huge
what's
wrestler.
right for the fans and what's right for business. You know, that's.
It would be something else.
Like you said, I think you touched on something. Tony Khan is a huge wrestling fan, first and foremost. That's what he is.
Yeah.
And you know, I've talked to so many different people that I know that work there or have worked there that say he's awesome. He's just an awesome human being. You would never You'd never, if you met the guy on the street, you'd have no way of knowing that guy's a billionaire and
Yeah.
has his hands in, is it a soccer team, an NFL football team, the second biggest wrestling company in the world. Like, he's just and first and foremost, he's a wrestling fan. So I could see you hit the nail on the head earlier. Like, it makes sense that he would do it.
It would be beautiful. It would be beautiful. Something else that would be beautiful.
It would be, wouldn't it be awesome to say, like, I was the bigger person? Like, it doesn't matter if they would never, maybe they never would do that for me. I'm going to do the right thing, though.
Yeah, the retirement tour is not complete without Edge, in my opinion. You've ticked basically all the other boxes that you can tick.
Well, this leads me to the next thing, right? Truly, because this is no, sorry, go.
Just that would really, really garner some goodwill from a lot of people, including wrestling fans. If like he actually allowed something like that to occur.
Yeah, 100%. Or I would say, hey WWE, if we let him come to you, go and let us use Edge for a year at least. The name Edge. That's a fair trade, right? That'd be something. But you never know. Talking about huge pops and AEW to WWE, the rumors are rife, and it's the same energy as when Cody left AEW and he showed up in WWE. Jericho, mate. What are you feeling it?
Yeah.
I think it's going to happen. I honestly do. I think it's time.
I think he has to go. He's got to round out his career there.
Yeah.
That makes sense to me.
He said that he was sorry.
No, I was going to say, like, is this retirement tour thing going to become a thing now? Right? I think Cena started something.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite interesting because, so from my point of view, Cena is over the past like 4 or 5 years, he's already passed that torch. At this point, it's not like going out and giving everyone a rub. I mean, it looks like he's still trying to, but for me as a fan, I don't think that it's necessary. I think, have the callbacks to previous rivalries. You don't need to go and give I know he wants to work with Dom Mysterio, and I know he wants to work with Gunther. That's apparently going to be his last 2 matches, or those 2 guys, which would be great. But I don't think they get any huge benefit from working with him at this point. I think it's much better to have him on there with Edge or Jericho or
Jericho could round out the Cena tour as well. Like, this is just me if I was sitting in that creators meeting and they're like, yeah, this is so good now. Cena's he's back to being the good guy. We're seeing all these, and out of nowhere, fucking hooded man right down, right? Cena's like, who the hell's attacking me on my retirement tour? Mister! We've got unfinished business, motherfucker. Place would love it, right? I know for a fact people are like, yes, this makes sense. This is excellent. It's Mr. Kennedy. That'd be fucking excellent. I would pitch that. But I have a feeling there'd be someone in that room going, no one will remember. I'm like, we fucking remember. We remember. Do you know what I mean? I think that would be... Who wouldn't love that? I mean, tell us in the comments. You would love that, right? Masked man, just down you go. I mean, it's all flowers. It's all flowers right now for Cena, isn't it? There's no real feud to see it out. Settle one last score.
Part of me still believes that December 13th. I think maybe it's just a setup. I love to believe this. No. We promise it's the last match, but random Saturday night main event. It just doesn't feel right. I think The Rock is going to come out, and they're going to have their 3rd one at Mania. And that
you
is
think
the
so?
Yeah, it makes more sense. I know a lot of people would be against his last match being against The Rock. It makes some sense, but him going out at Mania is the part for me that makes, that's why I would do it.
Comments are lighting up. Everybody would love to see that happening in WWE. They're all saying that. Of course we would. Of course we would love that. We wouldn't be here if we didn't. Everybody's saying I would love it. Hall of Fame 2026, Rumble return. So yes, everybody here would love to see that, and I second that. We have a super chat from a wrestling historian. After Columbia, were you interested in acting more?
Yes. In fact, I moved to New York. I moved to New York-ish. I lived in Jersey City for a couple of years. Got myself an agent and a manager, and started taking acting classes and stuff. And then just wanted to have kids. Moved back to the Twin Cities, and just kind of petered out. Like I said, I brought it up earlier. It's definitely something that I'm interested in. Something that I want to do more of. It's just I think it takes a lot of dedication to do it right.
Yeah.
I want to make sure that if I do something like that, it's going to be done right.
There's always time. QT Marshall, a new member. Welcome to the family, QT Marshall. Phenomenal. There is new members only content going up this week. We already started it with a interview with Wolfgang. Connor and I headed out to some local, former NXT talents and had a wee chat about independent wrestling. We talk a lot about Ken and his influence and all that. So for the members, make sure you go and check that out. They'll be dropping pretty much in a staggered fashion. But thank you very much for joining, members. It's beautiful. You're part of the family.
Yeah, welcome aboard.
Yeah, I have a question here from Instagram. It's from Neon1995. Now, I've never personally heard this, but they're alluding to something. In WWE, you and MVP had a match with Kane and Undertaker, and it was reported that you and Montel rubbed someone the wrong way, and that's why you two got squashed. Is it possible to hear your side of the situation, if that's even a situation? Nothing?
No. No, we would get squashed by them. I mean, like, just as like, if it made sense, like we would do main event dark matches sometimes where it was end of the night, especially if something negative occurs at the end of the television show. Like if you go off the air with a negative, with a downer, then they always want to send people home happy. So they'll throw, and it would be regularly MVP and I versus Kane and Taker. And we used to rock, paper, scissors to see who was going to take the choke slam and who was going to take the tombstone. But no, there was never any sort of.
I think wrestling fans, when they see a very quick loss on TV, straight away must have done something.
Well, and see, that just kind of brings us back to my earlier point where, like, they like that type of
conditioning.
Well, and you're conditioned as a performer to, when something like that is either pitched to you or whatever, to go, am I being punished for something? Like, instead of just like, it's just wrestling. Some you win some, you lose some. It doesn't really,
Yeah.
As long as the crowd says boo when they're supposed to say boo, and they say yay when they're supposed to say yay, that's all that really matters to me.
No, they're not very good at that nowadays. Usually getting mixed up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another thing as well, it's not like you're actually getting your ass kicked. Like, it's not like it's a performance. So it's not dedicated on what it is that you do, your input. So there's no really. We have a question here from QT Marshall, our new member. Hey Ken, what is your opinion on the extreme reduction of WWE schedule over the last 2 to 3 years? Almost no more house shows, and how does it affect in-ring quality? This is great because you train people as well. Great question.
I think that is a phenomenal question. That's a really great question, and it brings up a couple different things. One, the toll that it takes on the human body is, like, working the schedule that we worked was insane. You were constantly beat up. You always felt like you were running on fumes. You're hurt. Like, even if you don't get injured, you're sort of kind of injured every time you take a bump. It's like, imagine getting rear-ended by a car 20 miles an hour. It's like, there's people who get rear-ended one time in their life at 15 miles per hour, and then for the rest of their lives, they're, my neck is screwed up. Just imagine doing that 20 times a night, 5 nights a week. So it's great on the wrestlers' bodies. However, I think one of the beautiful things about the WWE schedule was like, guys get really good really, really quick, and they're very, very polished. And the stuff that you see by the time it gets to TV, these guys have worked. You know, Matt Hardy and I worked for 4 months, 3 nights a week, and we would go out and we wouldn't even talk to each other in the back. We just like literally go through the curtain, wrestle, talk about whatever we did when we came back through the curtain, and it would just, then by the time we got to TV or pay-per-view, it was like nice and polished up. I feel like Anastasia and I went to see a WWE event. We sat in a crowd actually for the first time since I was since I think I went to the first. I only went to 2 WWE events in my life. One as a fan, and then one I was in the business. I just wasn't under contract. But Anastasia and I went and sat in the crowd and watched, and we were kind of blown away by like how many mistakes we would see on a live show. And I asked some people, like, why is that? Why do we see so many mistakes? And it's because, one, everybody's green. You know, you don't have the grizzled vets. Like when I was there, it was Booker T, Kane, Undertaker, Rey Mysterio, Benoit, Finley, you know, all those guys were paired up with the younger talent. So you don't see that as much. And then 2, the schedule, they don't get their reps anymore. So, you know, like a couple different guys, like Otis is one of them that comes by the academy from time to time just because he wants to get more reps, because he misses the reps that he used to get on house shows. So it's kind of a catch-22. It's like there's trade-offs, right? Positive.
Yeah. I think one of the other sides of that for the fans, certainly, it might not be completely correlated, but less house shows, less money from these shows. So all the other shows now, ticket prices are just so high. I mean, have you seen some of the ticket prices for even just normal Raw and SmackDown events? So it's getting crazy.
I don't see how it's sustainable. Like, I really don't see how that, like, it just seems to like keep getting higher and higher, more and more expensive. Something's got to give at some point.
The market will dictate what happens because people vote with their dollar, right, or their pound.
Yeah.
So we'll
They
see what
do,
happens.
but like I feel like, you know, yes, but yeah, I don't know.
There's enough
They're
rich
like-
fans out there.
What's
There
that?
is.
There's enough rich fans out there who will, you know, they have millions and they will just, you'll see them front row every show and you'll be like,
Green
"Why-
shirt guy. Green
Yeah.
shirt guy.
you in your green shirt, why are you there every single week?"
Yeah.
There was also that guy, I don't think he's there anymore, but he had the Trinidad and Tobago flag.
Brock
He- I
Lesnar
don't-
guy.
Yeah, him too.
When I was
See less
with the
than-
company, it was Sign Guy.
Sign guy.
Sign Guy was there probably, he would probably do like 20 shows a year,
That's
maybe
crazy.
more. And he'd
Yeah.
be front row, always get the same seat.
What?
And I've had conversations with him, like he's a buddy of mine, and
Yeah.
they never hooked him up. He paid for all his
Wow.
tickets.
Jeez.
They would give him like some special treat. You know, you get to come backstage and stuff like that and meet
Yeah.
the boys, but
That's nice.
he paid for his tickets.
That's crazy. You always just assume the front row of the guys that are always the same. Probably one of the fans got smacked in the face once, eh? Like, or did Stone Cold run into you at WrestleMania? Come with me.
Yeah,
this
right.
ticket, this golden ticket gets you to every show, front row, same seat every time.
Whatever happened with that person? What did they end up getting out of it? Anybody know?
I don't know. I think it fizzled out because when you watch it,
Lifetime
The thing
front
is-
row tickets.
when you
Hopefully
watch
acting
it,
lessons.
acting lessons because they were absolutely fine. It didn't touch her. And then after it, she's like, oh, my leg. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know. You know,
Hey, it works in the NBA.
probably. Here, to be fair, it's like just to take a back bump and end up with free tickets. I mean, it's quite a trade-off. I'd be like, here, I will never sue. Just hook me up and rehire Mr. Kennedy. You know, give it time. There's another one here off topic. I'd always wanted to ask how much you loved screwing with Chimel. Tony Chimel. Did you screw with him much?
Loved it. That was so fun.
So
The thing was, is like Chimel would start coming up with ideas on it. Like, I'd go in there and I'd spit water in his face on house shows. There's actually a really good shot of me on a house show just spraying Chimel with water. And then he would he'd like, hey, how about tonight you go to spit the water in my face? I'll block it. You bag tag me, and then I'll bend over and then spit the water in my face. That sounds great to me.
Oh, man. That's so good. So he was always up for it.
Oh yeah.
Until that guy shot him in the nuts.
Super good sport. Hey, by the way, speaking of the intro that you played it again today.
Yeah.
With I'm coming for you, boy.
Yeah.
I remembered what it was that Frankie said to me on that. He said, if I start pounding you.
Do you think he done that?
He said, if I start pounding you, and I just sent that to him. I sent him a clip, and I was like,
do you think he done that to pop you? No.
I think it was just it just came out that way.
Man. You see, I've shown you that clip before where Chimel gets shot in the balls with a t-shirt gun.
Oh yeah, I love that video.
And he turns into a mafia boss. I'm gonna kick your fucking ass.
Shot me in the fucking ball.
You see Taz at first, he's like, "Well, what's going on here?" Realizes what's happened, and then Taz is just like, that's a camaraderie.
Chimel was so good at, like, everybody would kind of rib him, everybody would just sort of give it to him, but like it was done out of love. Everybody respected the hell out of Tony, but like he would always take it and he just take it and take it and take it. And brother got a little too carried away with his can't imagine that has to kill, right? Like those cannons right in the ball, right in the fucking ball.
Good fucking ass. I think they should have done more with him on TV. It would have been brilliant. There's one. We're going to come to our last few questions here. One here from D. Galvez says, "Who was the most underrated talent you worked with in TNA in the early 2010s?"
Desmond Wolfe. Never got his right. It was Nigel McGuinness.
Mm-hmm.
I never understood why he didn't get more love.
He has an AEW right now getting love.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, we saw him, but
I was such a huge fan of his when I was working independence and like just always thought that was going to be a guy that would be a player, and they just never kind of gave him kind of a crappy role.
Do you think it's something to do with his look? Perhaps.
In what way? What do you mean?
Just when you look at images of him, like, so even Bryan Danielson's the same. They don't necessarily look. That airport. They could go through the airport without someone going, "What did they do?" Right? Yeah,
maybe.
And I think with a jacket on, if you don't see them in their ring gear, you probably would be like,
who's that?
Do you think? Yeah. So unless you're exposed to their talent, like what you are when you watch the show, maybe that's it. Maybe just not enough people seen, how good he was. I would imagine something like that, but
maybe.
But right, he's getting the love now, though. Most definitely over in AEW. He was there in that club we were in with Mark Henry, wasn't he? He was. He was on stage singing.
Was he?
Yeah.
Was he?
Yeah. I can't remember what it was. I'm sure he was singing. He was singing, and it was wrestling themes.
Oh,
Connor doesn't remember because he was standing there the whole night saying, "Play Mr. Anderson." Steve,
yeah,
genuinely has that sign still in his car. He was signing.
I do. Yeah, I've not bend it yet. It's for next time. We won't play it.
Do it again, just all night.
100%. It was so good.
Desmond Wolfe. I remember this spot. I'm pretty sure it was him, and it was a total accident. It wasn't Nigel's fault at all, but there was a spot where he was in the ring with Abyss, and they had him take a beer bottle and like smash the end of it. It was it was sugar glass, right? So like the end, and I think they didn't realize like how sharp it was going to be, and he ended up like
oh no,
and it just zipped. Abyss, if you look at it, he's got these gigantic scars on his arm from it, just like the skin just split open like an inch wide. I remember just huge gashes.
That's unfortunate. Like
brutal.
You always
assume
assume
like
that
with Kurt and Shane where they forgot to change the glass. You remember that one?
Could you imagine? Oops.
Yeah. That's a future episode, like when wrestling goes wrong. And we'll maybe I'll ask you this final question before we wrap up.
Yeah.
What's the worst thing that happened to you where you were like, that was not supposed to be like that? That doesn't could be on TV, independence, any company. What's the worst thing where you were like, that was not supposed to be like that, motherfucker? I'm gonna kick your fucking ass.
You're snorting. Something that wasn't supposed to occur. Boy,
did you not fall victim to that?
Cena wasn't supposed to tear his pec when he hit top.
I'm gonna kick your fucking ass. That's spot on. That's the perfect answer. I love the wording of it as well. Perfect. Everybody's laughing in the comments. I'm seeing nothing but smiley faces everywhere. Oh man, that's actually like probably the worst thing that's ever happened. Probably aside from one or two things, that's probably the worst thing that's ever happened in the ring, resulting in the worst things to follow. So that was a perfect answer, perfect end to the show. Just to remind everyone that when we hit 100,000 subs, whether it be in a year's time, whether it be wherever, there is going to be a beasting episode where Mr. Kennedy talks directly to all of you and shares never before thoughts, stories about what went on in that crazy period of time, which is all just truth, reflection, nothing sinister, but I think it's something that everybody's wanted to hear for such a long time. So when we get to that milestone, 100% we'll do that. Everybody make sure to be checking out the Academy. There's a Facebook and there's a Twitter. The website's still under construction right now though, but you can call this number +1 507 722 776 and sign up. You've created superstars that have gone on to become champions. There is something for everybody in the wrestling business, and if it's within you, Anastasia and Mr. Anderson and the guys, the school will 100% nurture you and get you ready to fly the nest. Is there anything you'd like them to know about the school before they give you a call?
Just I'm about to go do that tonight again. We train Monday through Thursday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. and we've got a really good crew of people. As you pointed out, we've had a lot of our kids go on and work in AEW, WWE. There are a bunch more on their way. It's gonna happen. So and if you think you have what it takes, like, I'd like to help you. I'd like to help you get there. I've had an amazing career. If it all ended, if I had to hang it up tomorrow, like, call it a night. It's been fun, and I've got to experience so many cool things, so many amazing things, met so many awesome people. And I really, truly, I want to help people experience the same things that I have. So,
yeah,
please give us a call. And also, if you're interested in booking me on a show, still working, still out there taking bumping in feet. And that same number comes directly to me. So,
Hell yeah. And Connor and I have decided, I think we strategically were like, here, this show will probably be at the point mid next year where Connor and I could probably just travel over to you guys. And what we're going to do is bring cameras and everything. And we're probably going to come in and deep dive exactly what goes on at the school, get to know the guys, put something really spectacular together to give everybody a real, true understanding of one, what Ken's up to in his time off screen, but also, you know, where the next generation is at and what's possible.
We can maybe we shoot for SummerSlam. SummerSlam's going to be here in Minneapolis for 2 days.
Hey, that would be class.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Get some tickets.
We'll put the pin in that and most definitely aim towards that. But it's not possible without all the support for you guys. So it is very much appreciated. We love it. And truly
spread the word, please.
Mm-hmm,
help us out.
100%,
spread the word.
100%. Anything you would like to say, Ken, before we go?
No, just thank you everybody for being here, for listening, and the pleasure's all yours.
As always, we'll see you guys next week. Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.
Take care.